Once upon a time, there was a young prince who lived in a beautiful castle. He was kind and handsome, and all the ladies in the kingdom loved him. But the prince had a secret: he was lonely. He had never found someone who truly loved him for who he was. One day, a beautiful princess came to visit the kingdom. She was from a neighborhood kingdom, and she had heard stories of the prince's kindness and good looks. When the prince and princess met, they fell in love instantly. They spent every day together, talking, laughing, and exploring the kingdom. But the princess's father, the king of her kingdom, was a cruel and greedy man. He didn't want his daughter to marry, because he wanted to keep all of her wealth for himself. So he sent the princess back to her kingdom and forbade her from ever seeing the prince again. The prince was heartbroken. He refused to eat or sleep. He wandered aimlessly through the castle, longing for the princess. One day, the prince's fairy godmother appeared to him. She told him that she could help him reunite with the princess, but only if he promised to be true to himself and to the princess, no matter what. The prince agreed, and the fairy godmother transformed him into a handsome frog. She then gave him a magic lily pad and told him to travel to the princess's kingdom and wait for her at the edge of the pond. The prince traveled to the princess's kingdom and hid behind a rock at the edge of the pond. He waited for what seemed like an eternity. Finally, the princess appeared. She was sad and lonely, just like the prince. The princess sat down on the edge of the pond and began to cry. The prince hopped out from behind the rock and landed in the princess's lap. "Don't cry, my love," said the prince. "I'm here." The princess looked up at the prince in surprise. "But you're a frog," she exclaimed. "I know," said the prince. "But I'm also the prince you love. The fairy godmother transformed me into a frog so that I could be with you." The princess hugged the prince tightly. "I love you, no matter what you look like," she said. The prince and princess kissed, and the prince was transformed back into his human form. They returned to the prince's kingdom and were married. They lived happily ever after.
That was a beautiful story.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. I love you.
I love you too.